it's another SCG thriller where they break Collingwood hearts. Sydney by 6. What a display for Martin Brooke.
Well, that's a win, Jace. On the ropes. I mean, Collingwood would take a lot of positives, but in the end, they were just under-resourced in the middle of the ground. For Steene going down with that possible serious knee injury.
Two of the greats there, Lynchy. Current greats that don't personalise our king. A lot of respect between them. I just love the way they controlled that last centre baller. When there's a minute on the clock, you're only a goal in front, you're protecting a lead. Grundy had complete control, and he gets it to the advantage of the midfield who take it away, and they quell any chance of a last-minute surprise from the Pies.
To a best and fairest winner at Collingwood in their grand final year. It was the first time he won it. Brodie Grundy, and what a performance tonight. Not for Darcy Cameron to be out of the team. As we get down to Cameron Mooney.
Thanks, Hutto. Well, Nick, you look pretty pumped after that siren. That was a big win in the end because they had you on the ropes early.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, Friday night, packed crowd. Been the story of our games the last few weeks. We're just not quite at our best. It is hard to stay up for so long, you know. Like, we've started the season so well, but far out, we just keep finding a way to win. And man, I'm just so proud of this group. We were up against it and could have easily folded over and thought it's a bit too hard, but never say die. And you know, Rowy's 150th, and how fitting that the toughest bloke on the field relays that last tackle, and just so proud of him. And he does all the grunt work and lets the rest of the boys flourish. And far out, man, I'm stoked with that.
I watched you straight over that siren you went straight to Rowy. I mean, that was a huge tackle in the end, wasn't it?
Oh, it's huge. I mean,
they were off.
You know, they were off, and they're so good at just playing those moments, and they're never out of it. So, yeah, I mean, he doesn't get a lot of recognition, Rowy, and he's my best mate, and we live together, and we're as thick as thieves. And yeah, he's very underrated, but he lets boys like me do my thing, and Chatty, and you know, Isaac. Yeah, man, he's a star, and he's so valued in this team, and couldn't be happier for him.
What was the turnaround after quarter time? Because they did not let you run through the middle of the ground. They blocked it. They owned that corridor where you guys wanted to be. What changed?
Yeah, I think teams are doing that now. You know, we've started the season so well, and you know, everyone says it's our only avenue to score, but we find different ways, and we train bloody hard at both aspects of our game. You know, like it felt like we lost during the week, to be honest, with the reviews that we had. We just weren't up to standard, and didn't look like our type of game that we usually play in. And to bounce back like that, it was ugly, but you know, we find a way to win, and just so happy.
You fell down over here, hurt your shoulder. You hurt it last week. It's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. It's one of those things that's going to be sore for a bit, but as I said last week, when you got nothing on you, that's what happens.
Hey, who cooks out of you and Rowy?
I'll say myself, but it's definitely Rowy. I'll do nothing.
Mate, you might have a medal. Go over there.
Yeah, what a play, what an asset he is.
Oh, he is.
And interesting to see what he had to say about how he thought they played last week, and the review was like a loss. As we get down to the presentation.
Here at the SCG, the Sydney Swans victorious over the Collingwood Magpies in a scintillating performance. Before we call up the winning captain, I would like to welcome the living legend that is Michael O'Loughlin to come forward and present the Goods O'Loughlin medal to the best player on ground. The medal was created to honour the contribution of both greats, Adam Goods and Michael O'Loughlin. And the winner of the Goods O'Loughlin medal tonight is the big fella number 4 for the Sydney Swans, Brodie Grundy.
First of all, thank you to Collingwood. 40,000 here at the SCG for Marngrook Friday night. It's obviously a huge round for the AFL. Broader community in general, celebrate First Nation players have contributed so much to our game. We've had some champion players from both the Sydney Swans and the Collingwood Football Club over many, many years. And it's a real honour to win this award. We've also got the matchday sponsor, Go Foundation, founded by Michael O'Loughlin and Adam Goods, champions. They do a power of work to empower through education, which is fantastic. Encourage you to have a look, our matchday partner. Thank you so much, 40,000, go Swans.
Beautifully said. And now to present the Marngrook Trophy to the victorious team, the Sydney Swans, please welcome Uncle Mick Dodson, OAM. And the winners of the Marngrook Trophy this year, one more time for the Sydney Swans.
Firstly, it's an absolute pleasure to host Marngrook Ground. Thank you so much for the turnout. Thank you to Collingwood. We respect you guys so much. And this is an amazing round for all Australians. We celebrate our First Nations brothers and sisters. And to our boys in the football club, so proud to represent the Bloods on this round. Thanks for turning out, everyone.
Welcome back to Friday Night Footy on Fox Sport 2x4. They took some beating, the Collingwood Football Club. They were brave. They led by 33 points at the 17-minute mark of the second quarter, a quarter in which they kicked 1 goal 7. They'll be ruining the missed opportunities. With the top of the table, Swans, like a good side, like a very good side does, finds a way to win when they're nowhere near their best. And they've got up and prevailed by 6 points on the back of some heroic individual performances. The Swans surge, well, they went off the ground early. I thought it was duck season early. They didn't move until after half-time, but then we'll show you what happened. The boys will tell you exactly what went on, and they held on against a brave Collingwood Footy Club. Tommy?
Yeah, they were terrific tonight, Collingwood. The young kids, we lauded them in the first half. I thought they still stuck the game out really well, but in the end, Sydney just controlled the game. They took more uncontested marks, so plus at 25 in that area. In the second half, they started to go more around Collingwood. They wanted to set up through the middle defensively, really sound in that part, and they did. They just controlled it. They found a different way to win tonight.
Oscar Steene goes down. He's no Darcy Cameron tonight with injuries and ends up being Brodie Grundy's Goods O'Loughlin medal.
Well, it's so often on wet nights like this in climate conditions you end up just having to bullock the ball forward. So the Swans surge wasn't so much through run and carry and handball. It ended up being quick kicks along the ground or a tackle and a knock on, and that's exactly what Brodie Grundy was able to provide out of ruck contest first. 46 hit outs, 12 to advantage, 24 contested possessions. So it was, that was a huge part of it, but they bought in, didn't they, the Swans? They were challenged, they faced that, they came back a little at the end of the second, and then through the second half just ground the Pies out.
Only the second time this year Sydney have been kept under 100 points. So you think about defensively, I thought Collingwood were brilliant, gave up 71 inside 50s for only the 11 goals. So they did a lot right tonight. If they had a few personnel, maybe that changes the result. But Sydney, you know, probably for the second time this year, really had to work for that win. Nothing came easy.
They kicked the last 4 goals of the third quarter to go in at three-quarter time, 6 points up. So let's have a look at the fourth quarter moments. It was an arm wrestle for the first 10 minutes, and there was no scores at all. And it was went into a real defensive mode, which you'd expect. And again, Collingwood stood up bravely, and there was a sense that it was an inevitability that Sydney were going to go away. And then it was that Sloan kick. Roan
Steele. That guy.
that guy. He kicked a fantastic goal, and they're only behind by a point. And then the opportunities that were just missed, and it's a story of the night. They'll look back at this and go, gee, we had some opportunities through here.
Yeah, and as we're seeing from these highlights, there's not a lot of clean ball. The ball bubbles around. It's whoever was taking their chances. Steele's goal was a good goal. When there'd been a couple of ground balls that had sort of bounced around and then you take your chance. McDonald's goal was brilliant. And then, Papley really stood up late in the game. A couple of his goals in the second half when the Swans needed them most. And just key moments throughout. This kick was brilliant. Young fella Anderson was able to get it off the line. One of the few times that we saw a kick actually connect inside forward 50. The defence held sway for the most part, but yeah, it was. The fact that that tackle, James Rowbottom, excellent against Houston. The scores kept it the close scores kept it as interesting as anything, and the fact that the combatants were willing to give everything of themselves to try and get the result, and the Swans ultimately got there.
I've got no involvement in the meat trade, but that tackle's not rewarded somewhere down the track, but I don't have any.
You've got inside info.
I don't have no say.
You've got to tease it. You can't.
I haven't said it. I said I've got no say. You've picked a couple of shockers, you blokes, this year, so you could go anywhere.
I blame that fairly on Tom Hawkins.
Okay. No, and Johnny Brown, he rings through every now and then. He hasn't sent through one tonight, so it's up to you two boys. And we'll get the meat tray winner on the headset very shortly. We'll talk to one of the superstars of the night. And right now, as I said pre-game, Dean Cox's first year was hard work. They were 3-6 at this stage. They going into the round 10 game. They now sit at round 10 with 9 wins and just that solitary loss. So that's an outstanding result right now, and it's a wonderful launch pad now for the next half of the year, because we talked about being able to rest players at various stages to make sure you get to September in really good nick.
And I think you've got to learn things along the way. I mean, the footy that they were playing, as great as it was, I don't think they would have been learning all that much. I think a game like tonight, you bank the 4 points, you learn a little bit about personnel. We'll maybe touch on some personnel forward of the ball in the games that they had, but also different ways to be able to try and score. When the pressure's high, even that fourth quarter, Collingwood's pressure was 194, which is well above AFL average. So this would be a song sung with a lot of relief, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you win ugly, and they were able to win ugly tonight.
Well, Nick Blakey mentioned that. He said, look, we might have turned our toes up and just let this one go, but we're made of stern stuff and love the win.
Kicked 25-21 last year. And again, those laws of equilibrium, I reckon they're helping Ben King.
Yeah, no, it's definitely working for Ben King.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, Dwayne, is Mitch Georgiades needs somebody to actually kick the ball worse than him, and he'll get better.
That's exactly right. Well, goal kicking always ends up at 49% for some strange reason at the end of the year. Collins little fend off. Rowell little fend off. Collins goes back in. Collins is a bit closer to goal than he'd like to be.
You'd want to be good at contested footy behind those goals.
Yeah.
It's game on down there.
Oh, for sure.